Hello, everybody. It's Gail Perry and Kathryn Gamble here, and we're going to talk about today overcoming pain points that many capital campaigns face. We find that campaigns are a huge undertaking. They're a heavy lift for all organizations, yet pain points erupt.
Pain points certainly do erupt, Gail, and many of them start with the feasibility study, what you say, and finding out, you're anticipating what your consultant's going to tell you, and you hear the news that you just aren't quite ready, that all your ducks are not quite in a row to get that campaign up and running. So what do we do, Gail, when that happens?
Well, we give our clients a strategy roadmap, not whether or not. Many feasibility stations say, well, you're not ready, bye-bye, so sorry. But we say this is how you're going to raise the money. So you've got all these interviews with donors. You need to get your consultants to tell you what's the path. And I have seen some feasibility study reports from other firms, and they're very flat. They don't give the client a pathway forward.
It's really important because let me say it this way. Not every organization has all the little ingredients that make a successful campaign in place at the same time. And so almost every organization that we deal with is kind of missing something, or something could be a little better. But does that mean they can't have that campaign? No, it doesn't. It's what Gail is saying. We iron out that strategy. What are the right steps in the right order to be able to move forward with that campaign, to be able to build momentum for that campaign, which we'll touch on in a minute. But here, I think, Gail, let's talk a little bit about what is the number one thing we find that really does require a little more time for an organization to be ready to really roll forward with its campaign and build that momentum. We'll talk about more in just a second. And that is that their prospects are not ready.
Yes, and these are donor prospects for major capital campaign gifts. So that's the second pain point we want to touch on today briefly. What do you do when your donor prospects are not ready? You need a very concrete, well thought out, organized, and strategic plan to identify these prospects and see where they stand and bring them closer to your organization.
So it's a strategy to warm up those lovely donors who already support your organization, but maybe just have never thought about making a large philanthropic investment in your organization. It may be as simple as you've never asked for it. And so they don't really understand that you need it, or why you need it, or why this project or whatever it is you're planning to do needs to happen right now. So what is that urgency? So as Gail's saying, what is that path forward with these donors that's going to help unlock all of that wonderful philanthropic potential that is there, and just needing a little more nurturing in order to bring it to fruition?
And it can be done. You just need a plan and you need to execute the plan. It's one thing to have a plan, it's another thing to make it happen. So the third pain point that happens to way too many capital campaigns is this magic ingredient of momentum. Kathryn and I think a lot about momentum in our work because momentum is based on enthusiasm. It feels like there's action happening, that that things are moving forward in a sequence that shows up and up and up and up and up. And when a campaign loses its momentum, it's very difficult to reestablish it.
It is very challenging. And so think of it this way. A lot of times we think about momentum in context of speed, but we're not really talking about speedy, because we have this thing about going slow to go fast. And so it's about, again, it's about taking those right steps and taking them in the right order that builds that momentum. Part of that momentum, one of the secret ingredients to momentum, is confidence.
Yeah.
And your donors have to have confidence that your organization, you're going to be successful, your project is going to be successful, your campaign is going to be successful, you have the right leadership in place, and those lead gifts start to come in. And sometimes that can take months to get to that point. We have a client recently who has been doing all the great work that they needed to do to build that momentum of their campaign. And their first lead gift came in last month at $4 million.
So
Huge gift. they worked and worked on it and it's paying off. And now they've gotten the campaign chair of their dreams. And now, the excitement is building around their campaign. Their board is really excited. So all of those things are really key ingredients of momentum.
And as consultants, we do a lot of the driving of the magic ingredient of momentum. And if you notice, this strategy that we were executing just recently that Kathryn was describing, we went slow and there wasn't much happening. And now, kaboom, we have our lead gift. So that's why you have a quiet phase and you don't talk about it a whole lot while you're putting the ducks in a row. And then then the dominoes will fall beautifully. If you have a sound plan, if you have seasoned consultants who are experienced guiding you and cheerleading, so to speak, all the activities of the campaign. So we have just a little bit more time. We want to talk about the last pain point that capital campaigns face, and that is our lovely but challenging volunteer leaders. So what can happen with our campaign volunteer leadership, Kathryn?
Well, one thing is if you recruit them too soon and they don't have enough to do while you're, again, as we've been saying, putting those ducks in the right order, getting your prospect base ready. Sometimes we start campaigns with what we call a advisory committee or a planning committee. That's a group of volunteers just to do a few things right at the beginning of the campaign. But again, one of the key things that they do is help you build confidence in your campaign and confidence in your success. I can't say that word enough, Gail. Confidence, confidence. It's so important. And your volunteers will begin to they'll hang on your every word. They'll say yes when you ask them. When some campaigns last for years, this is not abnormal. And campaign leadership will stick with you when they feel confident and when they feel that momentum building. So you want to, again, it's one of those key steps that needs to be in the right place for your campaign is where to put your lovely volunteer organization in place so that they are leading your campaign. And usually you want your campaign to reach a certain threshold of momentum before you put them in place. Again, it's about confidence, critical ingredient.
Yeah, so we hope you've enjoyed our short video on pain points that many capital campaigns face. We wish you the very best of luck in your next capital campaign. We would love to help you. So give us a call or send us an email if you want, what do you say, Kathryn? Seasoned expertise to help lay out a super successful capital campaign that goes over goal.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Bye.